everyone watched this show called Avatar. So I watched it, and this is basically what I got from it. There are four nations. There's the air nomads, the water tribes, the earth kingdom, and the fire nation. And they all used to live in like basic harmony. So there was no problem with like anything. Until one day the fire nation attacked. And this attack wiped out the entire air nomads except one boy who survived for 100 years but was frozen in like ice. And that boy was the Avatar. He was later found by the Southern Water Tribe members, Katara and Sokka. So now they basically befriend him, and then they go around the world. They eventually team up with Toph. She's a blind earthbender. Surprisingly, she's the most powerful they know. Then they also go on, and there's this Fire Nation prince called Prince Zuko, banished for supposed treason. So he was banished with his uncle Iroh, a wise uncle. He's personally my favorite character in that show. So now, as they continue, Prince Zuko goes through trying to redeem himself, and eventually, at the season 2 finale, him and Azula have struck Aang using lightning on his back, so he's basically paralyzed. So the world thinks he's dead again. This is now the second time the world thinks he's dead. And so Zuko is now like reaccepted back in the kingdom because it is now thought of that he's the one who killed the Avatar. So now on his journey, the Avatar wakes up after some time because they didn't go for the head. So now the Avatar is still alive. So as in Katara used the moon spirit water, something like that, to revive him, but he had a huge wound on his back, blocked his chakra. So basically he couldn't enter Avatar state. So now season 3 is all about him mastering firebending now. So he disguises himself as a firebender, but he's no longer Mr. Clean as everyone knows him. He now has a head of hair. Seeing as he was out for 2 weeks, his hair grew. So now he goes to a firebending school. He has zero experience with anything. He knows nothing at all. And I'm pretty sure that his teacher suspected him. Oh, and by the way, there's this really funny character called the Cabbage Merchant. His cabbages are always getting destroyed by Team Avatar, so yeah. So, okay, back to it. So now, after some time, Zuko realizes that he was doing the wrong thing and that the right path was that Uncle Iroh was trying to guide him to. And so, Uncle Iroh, having been in prison, was actually working out, and now he became some buff guy from the chubby Iroh we all know and love. So he breaks out of the prison single-handedly and goes to the Order of the White Lotus, an organization consisting of basically all benders, because it's all about like the pure guys. So it has Paku, it has Jongjong, it has Iroh, it has like majorly everyone that had ever like helped one of the Team Avatar members. And so and later on goes on with Zuko. They become a team. They go to the Sun Warriors. They learn a bit of firebending. Now Zuko's fire was originally based on rage, so at some point he couldn't bend at all because he had found inner peace. So that's what prompted them to go to the Sun Warriors and get some basic training. So now when they were there, they learned how they can use the sun's energy for their firebending rather than rely on rage to firebend. And so now that alone makes Zuko perfectly peaceful, and he's no longer that crazy prince who we all knew. And so now he's with Team Avatar. They work together, and on their journey, Aang gets he disappears, lands on like some island. It's like some moving island at first, but it turns out to be a lion turtle, and even the most powerful like creature that can smell a human from like 1,000 miles away thought that he was not in existence because they gave him a piece of like something he had left behind with his sense, so it showed them that he did not exist. Then they later resorted to finding Iroh, and they went and found the Order of the White Lotus. Meanwhile, on the Lion Turtle, Aang tries and talks to all his past lives and tries to find a way to defeat the Fire Lord without having to end him. Because airbenders basically they're peaceful and he's like the real definition of peaceful. So now he keeps on talking to past users and they keep telling him the same thing that they would go that they would do anything to save the world, even if it meant killing the Fire Lord. Okay. And so he even resorts to consulting Yang Chen, who was the last airbender avatar before him. So she tells him the same thing, that she would have done anything to save the world.